Good afternoon.
Hello again.
Hello again for some of us, because this morning it was the Smarter Together final event, and we are about to launch the scale event, or the Smart Cities and Communities Cluster joint event. So we are going to present the agenda of the day, of the 2 days, of the 1.5 day, and then hand over the speech to Jens and Georg to introduce the meeting. So we have this afternoon one studio. We are calling studio a physical event. We have 4 studios foreseen during the meeting. The first one will be with London, sharing cities. It will be about financing and funding, I believe. The second one will be end of the afternoon. It will be with Replicate, about smart district. We will have a third one tomorrow, end of the morning, by Smarter Together, about the future of energy communities. And the last one will be organized by Smart and City with the presentation of the Thunderbolt project, Zero Future Carbon City. I would like to emphasize that we have a meeting we organize with the 4 projects that have started in 2016 and are about to end: Sharing Cities, Replicate, Smart and City, and Smarter Together. We also issue a joint paper. You can find the joint paper in the B2Match website, but it will be also, of course, published in the different website of the 4 projects. But it's important to get access to this excellent paper. It's not because we wrote it, but it's an excellent one. So the idea is to mix our studio with the scale activities. For those who don't know yet, Scale is simply a supporting contract to help the 18 smart cities project, Lighthouse project, to do things together, to organize joint replication, capacity building, and so on. We will have this afternoon the presentation of 3 or 4 activities of Scale, just after the studio of the financing. Tomorrow we have political session, the presentation of the main outcome of the joint paper, followed by political session with 7 representatives of large and small cities in Europe, with participation also of the mission manager of the mission board, Matthew Baldwin. And it will be followed by 2 keynote speeches I would like to invite you to attend because they are really disruptive. One is an investment fund called Time for Planet, and the second one is working on carbon emission market compensation. And we will conclude the meeting by signing the manifesto morning. Manifesto is just a joint framework between the 18 projects, and we will have the studio of Smarter Together. And in the afternoon, we go back to the usual standard agenda, which is working in the task group, the 5 task group we have in the cooperation. Right now, there will be a cross-cutting session, and board of coordinators. And the studio of Thunderbolt. And the studio of Thunderbolt. So that's the agenda in a nutshell. Maxime, do you?
So just to summarize, this afternoon we'll have high-level speakers from the European Commission, Jens and Georg. Then we jump to London, and we go back here in Lyon for presentation of scale activities, and then we will go to Spain for the smart district studio. So we can leave the floor to Georg. Georg, can you hear us?
I can hear you and see you. I hope you can hear and see me too.
We can hear you, but we need a screen to.
We don't have any screen, but we'll ask. No, we cannot see you for the moment.
Well, that's not an issue for the moment either. So
we will manage that if you want to your speech.
Yeah,
that's okay. I can see you.
Okay, great. Yeah, whether or not you see me, welcome to everyone. And I'm very pleased to be here at this event. The sequence was initially foreseen differently, so we thought Jens would start and I would simply follow up. But I see that he's actually popping up. So maybe we can give a few seconds until Jens is with us. Here we go. Hello, Jens. So I give
hello
to you if that is fine, and we'll just follow your intervention. See you in a minute.
Great, thanks. Hello. And I for some reason I hear everything twice. Okay, so wait a minute, I just have to switch off the other stream because I was also on the main stream, and then I hear it twice. And that okay. Oh God. That's lovely.
At least you contribute to the entertaining factor of the conference to some extent.
Okay, guys, is that now somehow working? It seems to be live. Okay.
I see you and hear you, Jens.
Good. So, and here we go. So I hope everybody else hears me as well. So, good afternoon. Lovely to be. Oh God. Wait a moment. I still have to switch off the second stream because I hear myself 20 seconds after I'm talking. Oh God. It's super funny. I'm really trying to make this work, but okay. Now I see myself again, and I hope it's not duplicating the same thing again, because before I was on twice and I heard myself twice. So I just start talking and I really hope it works, okay? So it's really good to be here or not be here, but actually I've been several times to Lyon before. So, and we had really good conferences there. And I really hope that this, even if mostly virtual, 2 days will be of good value to us all. I know the lighthouses very well, and I'm proud to see all the achievements over the years, but also that the movement still goes on and that it grows. And now I just check if I'm still actually somewhere on a stream. No, maybe not. Okay, there we go.
You are on the stream, Jens.
Yes, I'm really trying. There's something really messed up. Okay, guys, I'm back again. So so I'm really happy that it still grows and that it will go on for many years from now still. And for that reason, I also welcome the newer lighthouse projects, because this is now done by the more, I'm not saying the older ones, but the ones that are longer running already. And I have the pleasure now to actually collocate the whole Horizon 2020 supported projects in the wider political framework. And I'll give you a small DG Energy point of view and a refresher on what's going on actually and where this whole thing fits in. So the Commission has a long-term strategy, and that's good for DG Energy, but that's also rather obvious to my mind, is that the energy transition is at the heart of this economical and societal transition. And the whole thing started many years ago with Paris, but we are willing to try to reach climate neutrality by 2050 and to keep in line with the 1.5 degree objective. This will bring, in our view, benefits to the whole European economy and the citizens. And then obviously what never can be missed out in this kind of communications, we hope it also leads to growth, and in this case, green growth and jobs on the long term, and that that this strive towards climate neutrality will actually live up to its full growth potential, which also foresees further decoupling of the GDP and the greenhouse gas emissions. The whole thing was refreshed again, and with the from the Lyon Commission, we got actually the Green Deal. And the Green Deal is, let's say, the vehicle that shall bring us to this climate neutral Europe by 2050, and that shall help us to cut greenhouse gas emissions while creating jobs, and doing so also in a just and inclusive way. We will need innovation. Without viable innovation, and it's exactly what you are doing with your projects, and affordable clean energy technologies to support this transition, the whole thing won't become a reality. So we will also need really forward-looking innovation, disruptive innovation, and we have to accelerate the pace. All the reports that are coming in from the IPCC or others, obviously they're just urging us to be faster, 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 and there's less there actually than a decade now left before some of the really hard tipping points are beyond repair. So we really have to speed up further. I think the lighthouses are doing exactly this, and the whole smart cities and communities environment from the Commission with the marketplace, the lighthouses, the missions, and all the stuff that I will talk a little bit down the line still about. I think they are setting the right environment actually here. Many of these changes that we need will have to happen in cities and will have notable influences on how we live in our cities. So one of the the newest things all coming along with the Green Deal is a new package of legislation, because obviously from the Commission we're doing legislation and it's called the Fit for 55. So what will this be actually? I mean, it is actually cranking up of the targets to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 by a total of 55% compared to 1990. And obviously we haven't been sitting idly. So in the last year, all these strategies and targets were set, and now we actually have to deliver on those. And that's why this Fit for 55 package, which consists of a total of 12 different legislative proposals that will touch upon climate, energy, transport, taxation, trade, forestry, and research, they will all work together to deliver actually this target for 2030. But then obviously, and that's why we are just talking through the camera here, we also have another direct crisis to deal with. And while obviously it has all the bad and extremely disruptive influences in a bad sense that it had, we should come out of it and try to take it also as a break point from where we can not just go back to the business as usual, but from which we can actually, we can see it as an opportunity to accelerate the green transition towards this absolutely needed climate neutrality in 2050. And there is also another street to take that now with COVID actually became extremely clear, that it's the digitalization. Now, when you think of digitalization, it's not just Zoom or other kind of conference calls, but it's actually also the digitalization of our energy system, and really not just making this a one-off during a crisis, but becoming a more efficient society through the wise use. I'm not saying the everywhere use, but the wise use of digital tools. When it comes to making these things happen, obviously we have very good framework programs for research and innovation. You are all fully aware of the Horizon 2020 because you helped you to make happen what is happening in your cities. And now the next one starts. Everybody knows it, Horizon Europe. But so this one is really now turning. We just adopted some days ago the first work program for the years 21, 22. Now you say we are already in 21, yeah, slightly late. But nevertheless, a lot of funding going into energy, climate, and transport related topics, a total of almost 15 billion euros over the coming 7 years. So that's even a further increase of Horizon Europe. And I really hope you find also for the future other ways to be part of that. Some of you just started now with the lighthouse projects and still have another 5 years to go. The scale contract itself started just recently. There will be a new marketplace in the for the follow-up of the current one. So there will be continuity for the cities. It won't be total linear, because actually what happened is that the work program for the cities is now under the umbrella of the missions, the city mission. Just a very small part, which is the Driving Urban Transition Partnership, which is not small in itself because it's beyond 300 million total funding. But and there will be also the Civitas and the marketplace follow-up. But those are the only 3 components that remained in the normal work program, while the other ones are coming into the work program of the mission. These are co-created right now, and they will be put into the work program through an update that will happen by the end of this year. So inside the Commission, the work has been going on for a long time. It has been already co-created almost 1.5 years ago. So for instance, the follow-up for the lighthouse projects, the positive energy districts topic has been already co-created, will be adapted now to the missions, and then will hopefully find its way into the final work program. And whenever we discuss the mission is one of 5. So there's climate and there is cities. That is the most important for you. I've seen them always and also published the lighthouse projects as a proto mission, because you're already doing so many things that the missions will have to do. And they will simply have to replicate so many things that you're already doing in your cities. And yes, hopefully they do it at a wider scale. But I think if everybody would be doing what you are doing right now in your districts and your cities, then the mission would be a total success. So we already started to have a very positive bond at highest level between the lighthouses and the mission manager. Also, the smart city marketplace is also working on this bond. So I really see a very good future together. We have also the mission manager himself, which is the Director Deputy General of DG Move, Matthew Baldwin. He was really happy to speak at this conference, and you will be able to see him tomorrow live during the political session, where he will tell you so much more about the mission. And just came out of a mission meeting now, so things are turning fast, and so the missions will go on and will have to deliver a lot of things, but again, things that you already went through and that you are already delivering. So you will have a very prominent place, and all your wisdom and experience that you have accumulated during this project will be definitely of big help. And then, as I already mentioned several times, there's another big player which is not relying on the grant funding, which is the Smart Cities Marketplace. And it will help to actually link or is helping already to link the different initiatives better and enable financing of projects that are created inside the marketplace or that are brought into the marketplace through other funding streams that are not the normal grants that I just talked about and that you actually benefited from under Horizon 2020. But anyway, Georg is already here with us and he will give you the latest and greatest in some minutes on this. I'm almost coming to an end here. I just wanted to say that when we talk about 15 billion, that's already a lot of money, and but there's also the recovery funds. So there's next generation, there's EU long-term budget, and in total, it's the largest stimulus package that the EU ever put on the table, and it's a total of 1.8 trillion euro. So 1,800 billion euro over the coming 7 years or 6 years actually to get out of the COVID crisis, but really to do it in a most intelligent and sustainable way. And because whatever we do now, I said it already, time is really short, it will impact all future generations. So we have to get it right. And I think the Lighthouse projects are really leading the way. But also because there is no planet B, and actually we have to get it right the first time because we won't have a second chance. And with this, I hand over to the moderator again. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Jens. Georg, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, with this rather comprehensive introduction by Jens, I have the freedom to fully build on that. And I should really emphasize at this stage that, again, that the Smart Cities and Communities Lighthouse projects are a true asset for building whatever happens under the mission, most specifically, but also in terms of delivery on the EU Green Deal, on literally any other climate relevant or urban policy we might have in our portfolios, because it has to happen locally. And this is an argument we always use. The biggest share, 3/4, which is a growing share of people live in cities. So we have an asset here which we hope to use and exploit, excuse me for the word, in the most intelligent way to really make it happen. 2050 climate neutrality, that's a heck of a challenge. And I think the time is here to put hands on rather than keep talking. And in that very spirit, Jens said it already, we are also within the current draft of the implementation plan for the mission on climate neutral and smart cities. We are really building on the experiences with the Lighthouse projects. And as a second big partner in this let's say, landscape or ecosystem of smart city activities on commission level, we have the Smart Cities Marketplace and Scale. And well, the idea is to position the Smart Cities Marketplace as a facilitator across the board, very much following the spirit of the Smart Cities and Communities program, which has been triggered years ago. Some of you might remember. I see also Graham in this call and so on. That in 2012 we launched this innovation partnership, which actually triggered this spirit and this narrative on being inclusive, being holistic, being integrated. Now the marketplace is there to really help with replication, picking this up, putting that on the ground with the help of investors. You heard the figure of Jens, 1.8 trillion. There is also an estimation for the mission as such, which is figuring at roughly 100 billion euro. Whereas I have to say, this is a very rough estimation. In order to deliver 100 climate neutral cities by 2030, I would personally guess that we need quite a bit more of money. And only the smallest part of that is direct funding. So here you see that we all have to really collaborate very closely together to make some sense out of it, to bring the solutions you have successfully implemented with all the non-technical knowledge attached to it, citizen engagement, social inclusion, all these things have to come into place, have to fall into place in order to really make sense out of it and to make it happen. So here is where the Smart Cities Marketplace kicks in with this Explore, Shape, Deal process, and truly also looking beyond the very energy scope, also looking at mobility and transport, looking at green developments of all kinds, looking at the digital area, digital solutions as, if you want, enablers and glue to put things nicely and smartly together, purposefully, not for the purpose of simply being digital, as Jens already said correctly. Digital should be there to really accelerate and support what we do, rather than being a technology on its own right, if you want. So it's all integrated, and this is what we, I guess, want to achieve over the next few years, in direct support of the mission, of the Driving Urban Transition Partnership, of the EU Green Deal. Then we could also throw into the round the renovation wave, which is just now taking shape. There is the energy systems integration and strategy, and so on. So I could continue like that, but I won't. And then let me finally also emphasize that there is scale. I should also say on this very occasion that we have already started to look really concretely in how do we actually create a pipeline of projects and solutions, replicated, upscaled, new implementations, which directly come or are inspired from the Lighthouse projects. Financing plays a very great role here, and I'm happy to tell you that we are constantly tweaking and improving this kind of knowledge and understanding how we can make it happen. The Smart Cities Matchmaking team is very closely collaborating with the Scale financiers. So there is really some very good collaboration ongoing and taking nice shape now. There is continuity. So the Smart Cities Marketplace will continue under the new framework program, which is good. And I hope that we can even explore further ways of truly and in the best positive sense exploiting what you have shown, demonstrated, and delivered so far. And a last note, and then I will stop, of course, considering the timing. Last note to the projects which have already finished their journey in the frame of what has been in the grant agreement. I'm truly appreciating and super happy that you still continue being in this group of projects, and that you continue to support what the Smart Cities Lighthouse projects stand for, and that we need to build on that. And with this, I really thank you for your attention, and thanks for having me. Quite looking forward to the second day tomorrow with Matthew, and of course to the rest of the day with London and so on, which will be quite interesting, I'm sure. And yeah, so much success with this event, and looking forward to the next steps. Thank you very much. And also thanks to Jens, who was preparing my intervention so nicely. Thank you.